Welcome back. Today we have a 1991 Prelude SI anti-lock brake car in the shop. And I'm going to talk about how to disconnect the anti-lock brakes in this thing. I'll tell you why. This is a super clean, all original car, 5-speed with a 44,000 original miles. Even has the accessory armrest from dealer installed accessory in this thing. Nice clean car, original paint on it, but the ABS pump on it failed and you could never get the brake pedal to feel good. It would sink to the floor. The car was undrivable. So I needed to find a solution to bypass the ABS. I couldn't find anybody that rebuilds these pumps, and the used ones were wanting a ridiculous amount of money for a pump that they wouldn't even guarantee. So the owner of this car is the cheapest guy that I know, and he told me to do this job as quickly and as inexpensively as possible. So I love the guy, so I obliged, and this is how I did it. Yeah, the first thing obviously is to remove the modulator and this junction block that bolts to the strut tower. The pump and the accumulator are mounted on the cross member right in front of the transmission and underneath the battery tray. You cannot physically unbolt them and get them out this way, so you got to take them out from the top by removing the battery tray. With the battery out, you have access to all the bolts here, holding in some of the tubing from the accumulator and some wiring over here. So unbolt all that to pull the tray up. All right, here's a look under the battery tray with it removed. Now, you do not have to remove the pump in order to bypass the system. I already had this system bypassed already, and basically I just took the return line going back to the pump and slid it onto the pressure line going to the ABS module. The accumulator is here. The pump is all the way down there with 3 bolts. There's a bolt there, and another one over here. And the line from the pump coming out goes to these hard lines. I'm going to be pulling this bracket off now, and the accumulator and the pump. The bracket here might have to come off in order to get the pump up out of the top. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Here's the pump out. The bolts over here, there. Another one there. And just enough room to squeeze it out. You got to push all the wires back and you kind of bring it out over the top this way. That main bracket doesn't have to come out. Now I will take out the accumulator next. Okay, the accumulator is out. It's got 2 nuts on it and a bolt over there, and the wiring is held in with a little clip on the inside of that bracket. Again, takes a lot of fiddling. It will fit out from the top. It doesn't want to drop down. There's not a lot of space, but it does come out. I even unbolted the bracket that hold the motor in place just because it looks like crap, all rusty. Eventually, if this system finds its way back onto the car, I could have this repainted and looking pretty. Now, what to do with the loose wiring? Honda actually made it quite easy, because these 2 lines coming in that went to the accumulator and the pump will actually plug into each other and be sealed. So I'm going to plug them into each other there to seal them up. There's another plug from the module here also that will actually plug into itself. And then I pulled out all the powering for this. You have these fuses and these 3 relays. Just pull them out of the box here. Nothing will be getting power where it needs to be. And the only other annoyance that you will have is that your ABS light will be on in the dashboard. So you could take the instrument cluster out and pull out the bulb. That's what I did with this one. You will need to buy the proportioning valve off of a used car. They're not available new anymore. Shop around online. I got this one at a junkyard nearby with great difficulty in getting it out. So I could not get the lines from this car, and they were damaged anyway. So here also tells you where all the lines need to go. This line will go to the rear of the master cylinder, and this line will go to the front of the master cylinder. There's a junction block that was mounted over here. You will need to get the bracket from a non-ABS car that holds the whole proportioning valve assembly there, and that will bolt into place. There's already holes in there from the factory. The lines that came to the original junction block will bolt in to the non-ABS car. These two lines will just have to be spread apart a little bit so they will fit. All the other lines are unfortunately different, and in order to do this job quickly, I did not change the lines going to the left and right front wheels, because in the event that I'm ever going to be able to find a pump or rebuild this original pump, this ABS system might go back in the car working. So I've got, I got connectors, flare fitting connectors. Here, 2 of them, 1, 2, and the original lines were just bent to go into the proper location on the proportioning valve. The lines with the plastic on the ends are the ones that went into the modulator originally. I just repurposed them. This one goes back into the car. I just bent it to go to the location that it needs. So those were the 3 lines from the modulator just being reused. And like I said, I could have made up new lines, but that would have taken a lot of time, and time is money. So that's what the solution was here. Now you will also find that the master cylinder on a non-ABS car and an ABS car is different. They are a different bore diameter on the inside. You cannot reuse the other one. It will not give you the correct brake pressure. The brakes will not function properly. So that was a new one I purchased very inexpensively online, and it will physically bolt in place. But the major difference is the fitting that connects to the, I believe, the rear part of the master cylinder is a different diameter. So rather than trying to get a special fitting or cutting the original line, I just left the original line in place, and I just bent a brand new line, you could see in the very back over there, out of nickel copper tubing. This way the car, if it goes back to ABS, I'll just remove that line. And this is the line that runs here. Nickel copper brake tubing is really, really easy to fabricate, bend. You could bend it by hand. So it's a real good solution to running new lines anywhere. There's the original line back there. It is the rear of the master. I put a little rubber cap on it to seal it off. There is not a lot of space to work in that little hole anyway, so the new line is connected up right there and follows along close to where the factory line went along the firewall. Here's the ABS master out of the car. These are 2 different sizes. On the non-ABS one, it's the same, so that's why that line won't screw into the other one. Honda made it so you can't mix up the masters between the cars. After all that, you're obviously going to have to bleed out all the brakes. So like I said, I did this job maybe about 2 years ago now. The car is in the shop just for some service work, so I wanted to give you a video on how to do this. If you like this video, do me a favor, subscribe, put a like on it, and you'll be happy to know that the cheapest guy in the world that I know will be happy, because that guy is me. So thanks for watching. Check out my new Alfa Romeo. It's awesome. Nice, beautiful leather. Perfect for driving out on the golf course. It's lovely this time of year. Put your clubs in the back. So much better than a regular golf cart.